to Training Tips Tuesday with Allie. This is Chunk. She's going to be my helper today. She is going to be demonstrating how we can get our dogs to learn to put on their own harnesses. We do this for a couple different reasons. So if you have one of those harnesses that goes over your dog's head, they might be a little bit shy of that. So if they are, this is a way to build positive associations to putting the harness on and the harness going over their head without them being worried about it. The other thing is it gives our dogs the ability to have another behavior in their repertoire. So just by having them know how to put on their own harness, they can actively participate in their own care essentially. So if you remember back to a couple weeks ago when we did the mat training session, we're going to be using the same process called shaping. So shaping again is taking small increments to get to a larger goal behavior. So basically breaking things down into stages for our dogs. So basically I'm going to start by just presenting the harness for Chunk, and then Chunk is going to basically decide how she wants to engage with it. Now Chunk is going to be a more proficient and quicker shaper than a lot of your dogs who have never done a shaping process before, because she does shaping processes all the time. So what it would typically look like is going to be a little bit slower than how Chunk does it. But basically, what we're looking at is that she takes little bits of the behavior. So with her, she might go a little bit quicker. And she's trying to figure out what I want right now because I've been feeding her treats. Now, what it would typically look like is that, hi pretty girl, is that we would just present it, let them engage with it how they want. So as soon as she starts engaging, that is when I would start reinforcing her for the behavior. So I'm just going to get her up so that when she comes back over, the harness will be present. Yes. So she just touched it with her nose. Yes. Touching it with her nose a little more. Yes. Putting her face in the area. Yes. Now I'm going to feed her treats in the harness. Yes. Yes. And if your dog is weary about this, like really extra weary about things going over their head, treat them when you take it off as well. And I'll show you another easy way to do this. But again, this is teaching them to actually have a cue for this behavior. Yes. Yes. So again, I'm just feeding the treat in while she has her head in the harness already. Yes. Yes. So now, like I said, if I had a dog that was weary, I would just pull it off while giving a treat. Okay, I'm going to send her away a little bit so that she can come back in. Yes. All right, so I would say she knows what it is, and we could add a cue now. So as she comes back over, get dressed. Yes. And then again, just pull it off of her head with a treat. Get dressed. Yes. Oh, this one got a little tangled here. Pulling it off with a treat. Get dressed. Yes. And I'm just going to stand here. Get dressed. So I changed the criteria a little bit. Yes. Get dressed. Yes. Send her away one more time. Get dressed. Yes. Good girl. So now instead of, me just coming up with the big scary harness and shoving it over her head, now she's willing to participate in her own harnessing, and she's not worried. She's not backing off as I present the harness to her like she normally would. So she's, telling me, hey, I'm comfortable with this. I'm willing to do this. And I'm going to be reinforced for it. Get dressed. Yes. So that is how we can teach our dogs to put on their own harness. Now, you know, that was an easy process with Chunk. You might see some snags with your own dog because Chunk, like I said, is proficient at shaping. But, you know, don't worry about it, keep going. And in the interim, while we do need to get the harness on still, but we may still be working on this shaping process with our dogs, you can always just put a treat through the harness and let them come through on their own, so that at least they are getting those positive associations as we put the harness on. So again, I'm just presenting a treat and putting it over her head at the same time, so we're still building those positive associations. So if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments, and hopefully you guys are able to teach your own dogs to put their harnesses on. All right, thanks, Chunk.